Pro mattress topper, I made it to have everything you'd ever want in a topper. My mattress topper helps give you the support you need, helps relieve your pressure points, and regulates your body temperature for you as an individual. It comes with a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry the cover. It's made in the USA, and I back it with my 60-day money-back.
By 360 people.
Sustainable communities around the world. Or
Hi, I'm Jane King, and thank you for watching. This show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies. We bring you the innovators behind the companies making the headlines in that space. Some are sponsored, some are invited, all are curated and focused on telling you, the viewers, their story. Here we go. American Premium Water Corporation is a diversified consumer products company focused on brands that utilize cutting-edge bioscience technology. Now, the company is focused on harnessing the power of its proprietary hydro nanotechnology that utilizes CBD and other compounds to help increase the quality of life for its consumers. And with me is the CEO, Ryan Fishoff, and the COO, David Howell. So great to have you here.
Thanks for having us. Great to be here.
Okay, so let's start by talking about one of your new brands, right? Cali Bear JV. Explain more about that. That's new. Why is it good for the company? Tell me about it.
Sure. So the Cali Bear JV is a joint venture that we entered into with the Cali Bear brand earlier this year. David Howell was responsible for bringing that opportunity to us, and we're very, very excited about partnering with them. And they are a up-and-coming performance lifestyle brand based out of California that has a international team of influencers that are predominantly beach volleyball players. And they do a great job getting the brand out with their branding. They get a lot of exposure and impressions through social media. And it allows the beach volleyball players to explain the benefits of CBD and how it helps them with their training regimens, how it helps them in game, recovery, workouts. And we think that's very important because we think a lot of customers still don't know the benefits of CBD. There's a lot of innuendo out there. There's a lot of misinformation. So hearing it right from the horse's mouth, testimonials, anecdotal descriptions, I think would be very powerful going forward. And Cali Bear allows us to do that. Also, it's a great brand. We really like the brand. I think it's very diverse. I think it can fit a lot of niches and be very universally embraced by distributors and consumers. So we're really excited.
No, I agree with you. There's a lot of confusion about CBD. Does it work? You know, you wonder, are people just kind of jumping on the bandwagon and saying this product is CBD and it really doesn't do any better than a normal brain? You know, so there is a lot of confusion there. So tell me about, when is the launch of Cali Bear? What products will be a part of it?
So we announced, David, go ahead.
So I'll jump in for 2 seconds. I'm actually quite shy when it comes to this stuff. So I'll jump in. Cali Bear was when I was speaking with our friend now, Chris Ships, who is the owner of Cali Bear. He was talking to me about doing a CBD water and a CBD shot. So Ryan and I were both thought that was a great opportunity to bring them in as that JV. So they were already operating under 3 different tinctures and gummy bears. So they're going to be taking our CBD type of products, first right of refusal, and we're going to have 6 SKUs coming out on that. It's going to be 3 tinctures, gummy bear, which is going to be 25 milligrams of CBD, 10 in each bag. Then we're also going to do a CBD nano water, a 16 ounce, 25 milligram nanotechnology as well. And then we're going to have a 2 ounce nano shot of 50 milligrams of CBD. And then we're also going to have a great pain cream, relief cream, and a lip balm. People always ask why a lip balm. Well, it's, beach volleyball players, they wear them, surfers, skiers, snowboarders, everything else like that. So it's a great opportunity and it's great marketing.
The lip balm is a great product to have for the performance lifestyle because again, everyone's on the beach. The CBD helps with the benefits, amplify the benefits of lip balms. So it's something that the whole product kit, which we announced a couple months ago, we're really excited about getting to launch, and those products will start rolling out in the next few weeks. So we're really excited.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was going to ask, and then you've talked about the nanotechnology. So I know nanotechnology is super tiny tech, dealing with tiny things. How does that work with the products? What is the benefit to the consumer there?
So our nanotechnology amplifies the benefit of the CBD to the consumer. It amplifies the consumer's CBD experience. What our technology does is it increases absorption rate by up to 90%. And how it does that is it breaks down the molecules, the CBD molecules, to less than 1 nanometer, which it allows to penetrate and absorb into the bloodstream in a much more efficient manner. So this enhances the experience. Essentially, CBD is oil, CBD, and then the body is made 70% of water. So a lot of other brands, a lot of the CBD, it can have 50 milligrams, it can have 25 milligrams, but it doesn't get into the bloodstream and it doesn't get into the body. So that's what we're basing our technology on, is a higher absorption rate, which allows for a really, really exceptional user experience with CBD. Also, some of the other compounds that we're working on, it applies the same technology applies. So it's really, it's really revolutionary technology, and we think it's a really, really undervalued asset of the company.
So where's your focus of distribution? I understand there's a New Jersey deal, perhaps Asia. Who wants to take that?
I'll handle that. So we announced in the beginning of March, we signed a distribution deal with Trust Logistics in New Jersey, and they're centrally located for the Northeast, and they have reached to about 2,000 smoke shops across the northeastern seaboard from Portland, Maine to Fredericksburg, Virginia. We're really taking advantage of the recent legalization efforts in these states, especially in New Jersey and here in New York. As more stores will embrace CBD and other cannabinoid products. So we're really excited about that. As far as Asia is concerned, last year we signed an investment and distribution deal with BioHealth Water Incorporated. They have a tremendous worldwide reach with it, specifically in Asia. And we're developing, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just CBD products that our nanotechnology is applied to, but also non-CBD products as well. And there's a tremendous demand for their distribution networks across the Pacific Rim. So we're really excited about that. And we're also talking to a number of distributors on the West Coast, also as well as the other distributors in the Northeast, Southeast, and in the Central Plains. So we're really excited. I think there's a lot of interest, and things will start rolling out once the official launch in a couple of weeks. So we're excited.
And what about a hemp license that you just acquired in New York?
Yes. So the company acquired a distribution and retail cannabinoid license in the state of New York. And how this really is beneficial for us is it will set the company apart from its competitors, that we're officially licensed to sell hemp and distribute hemp. I think we're staying ahead of the curve. There's going to be certainly regulatory regimes in place going forward as hemp and cannabis become more commonplace in the market. But really, I think the benefit of these licenses is basically it allows us to partner with brands not in the CBD or hemp space. And it gives them comfort that we're licensed, and it gives us a step up. And how we envision that is really for events. I mean, New York City is one of the event capitals of the world. Fashion Week, US Open, concerts, Governor's Ball, number of different events, especially as COVID ends, the COVID lockdowns end, and we get back to normal life. I think there's many opportunities here to partner with non-CBD brands to do pop-ups and installations that will expose our brand to customers or consumers who may not be familiar with CBD or the benefits of CBD. So it really just increases our exposure to a whole audience that is not necessarily the traditional target market of CBD. So we're really excited about that. And that's what the licenses give us the opportunity to do.
Okay. David, do you want to weigh in on other products besides CBD? There's nitrous oxide and anything else that's in the works?
Yeah, as of right now, our focus is on getting the Cali Bear brands right out. But right behind that, we have a name, but we're going to keep that to ourselves right now. But we're going to have a nitrous oxide shot. We're going to have a 16-ounce energy drink. It's going to be, just all good ingredients. I'll let Ryan take that part because Ryan's been kind of focused on that. And but yeah, we're going to have those two brands hopefully right behind that. And we also have a couple other brands that we'll be focused on that is under the American Premium Water, like Plant and Body Essentials, which I think is an amazing name and a great opportunity there too. So I'll let Ryan take on the nitrous, the energy water.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, so that's something we're working on also with our Asian partners, our partners in Asia. That's what we actually, we shipped out the first shipments earlier in February to start testing in the markets with flavor and performance. So we're excited about those products. As David mentioned, we're working on other products. There's some things we're experimenting with. As previously mentioned, we use our nanotechnology to do different stuff with alcohol. Talked to a few companies about psilocybins. So really, we're always innovating, always trying to stay ahead of the curve. I think it's something that, as David said, we're really focusing on Cali Bear launch, the content that we're focusing on. But as things start rolling out, then the next products will be recommended. So always giving consumers new and exciting products as well as shareholders the opportunity to benefit from these new exciting products and reach new markets.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to updates later this year.
Yeah, I look forward to being back on. I can't wait to show your viewers the Cali Bear products. We're really excited about that.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Petproducts.com. Thousands of products. An Al Simon Wee Wee Pad Inventor Company. Well, he's been called the king of Vegas sports gambling. And with me is the CEO of Winners Inc., Wayne Root. So, Wayne, great to meet you.
Hey, and let me correct you with one thing. I'm the CEO of Vegas Winners, which is a subsidiary of the publicly traded company Winners Inc. But it's all meshed together as the same thing. The whole thing is headed in one direction and only one direction. Sports gambling is exploding. It's the new national pastime. It's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. It's been legalized by the Supreme Court. And we are right smack dab in the middle of this amazing, I call it a gold rush. It's like the gold rush of the 1800s. Everybody everybody wants to bet on sports now, and we're the ones that give the advice, the research, the guidance, the information. It's all there from Vegas Winners and our parent company, Winners Inc.
Okay, well, thank you for that clarification, because I know there's a kind of layers of corporations, so sometimes it gets a little lost in there. So you mentioned the Supreme Court decision. So that was a real game changer. Of course, Nevada on the forefront of that. We saw New Jersey. Now I think, half the states have legalized.
So, we're headed quickly for 30 states. By this fall, sports gambling should be legal in 30 states. Online gambling is the key to all of this. Almost everybody, Jane, bets online. State of New Jersey is the perfect model for what's happening in America. New Jersey, it was illegal to bet on sports until that decision in 2018. Nevada, where I live, Las Vegas, was legal sports betting for the last 70 years. And New Jersey comes along, and in 2 years, it now regularly passes Nevada with close to $1 billion a month in legal sports betting. And 90% or more is online betting. So nobody walks into an old, the old models, walk into a casino, walk into a sports book. Nobody does it anymore. It's all done online. And our company, Winners Inc. and Vegas Winners, we provide the advice and the research and the data and the information all online. So it's a perfect marriage. It's all about online sports gambling. You sit in your home, you sit on your cell phone, your iPhone, your Android, and you make bets on football games or basketball games or baseball games or NASCAR or golf or Ultimate Fighting Championship, and you have yourself a great time. And it's not only an investment, it's like Wall Street investment merged perfectly with entertainment, because you don't get to watch your stocks and have a good time, but you can watch a 3-hour sporting event, and when it's over, because of sports gambling, if you win with our advice, you get paid to entertain yourself for 3 hours. It's really the most unique form of entertainment in the world.
Yeah. Well, let's back up a little bit. So tell me about your background, because you've got a very interesting kind of route that brought you to where you are now, no pun intended.
Yes, no pun intended. My route is a very interesting route for Wayne Root. So I'm an SOB, son of a butcher, son of a blue-collar butcher. And the great thing about my dad, the butcher, is he always said, anything is possible in America, anything. And I believed it. I bought into the American dream, wound up getting accepted at Columbia University, Ivy League. And from that point, everybody thought I'd become a lawyer or a doctor, but they didn't understand my goal was to be Jimmy the Greek. And it all started when I was 16 years old, Jane. And there was a story in the local newspaper, Mount Vernon, New York, on the Bronx borderline, very blue-collar town. And the story was Wayne Allen Root is the next Jimmy the Greek, the betting whiz kid. And I took that to heart, and I made that my goal in life. And by the time I was 26, going on 27 years old, I became one of the youngest anchormen in America on CNBC. And they found Jimmy the Greek. He had just been fired by CBS, and they hired him to be my partner on TV. So I went from a 16-year-old kid saying, I'm going to be Jimmy the Greek, America's #1 Vegas odds maker. And the next thing you know, I'm on TV with him. We're partners. And then he retires. They put him out to pasture, and it becomes my show. I replaced Jimmy the Greek. Fast forward to today, Jane. I believe I am Jimmy the Greek, except I'm Wayne the Jew. And I am Jimmy the Greek for America. I'm the guy to explain in simple terms, entertaining terms, sports gambling to America. And the difference is when Jimmy the Greek did it, it was all illegal. Now it's all legal. It's just like Wall Street, and it's fun.
Well, I love those stories, like how weird life can be, and how if you really focus and will something, like it comes. That was great.
If you believe it, you can make it happen.
That's right. Yeah, we just got to stick with it. So now, Wayne, tell me a little bit about Las Vegas Winners. How does it work? Is this an app that people download? Just take me through the whole process.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is an app under construction, but the main thing is the website, vegaswinners.com, vegaswinners.com. And you just go online. It's the most simple business in the world. I was in this business for 30 years, Jane. It's why the media called me the king of Vegas sports gambling and America's handicapper and America's odds maker and prince of prognosticators, all the names you could think of. I was called for 30 years when it was mostly illegal. And now it's all legal. And so this website, you go there, you point, you click, and you've got your information. You want to make a bet on the Dallas Cowboys against the Washington Redskins, a very famous rivalry in the NFL. And you just point and click, and there's my pick. I take the Dallas Cowboys -3 points, always against the point spread. In other words, when you're betting on games, there's a point spread, just like like in golf, there's a handicap. That's why they call us sports handicappers. We're picking against the handicap. So one team's a 3-point favorite, a 4-point favorite, a 10-point favorite, and you have to decide you want the favorite or the underdog. You point, you click, you pay your money on your credit card, you got my pick. But there are many revenue streams, Jane, to our business. The revenue streams are selling our advice and research and guidance. Okay, that's number one. Number two is once you make the bet, once you get the pick from us, you're going to make the bet somewhere. We give you advertising from sports books all over the United States, legal sports books in each state that you're in. And so you point, you click, you go to that sports book. Well, guess what? They give us a fee for sending them customers. So really, in the long run, I believe, and this has been my vision from the day I became the Jimmy the Greek of my generation. All the money is not in the picks, but rather the biggest revenue stream, the majority of the revenues for the next 20 years are going to be the gambling revenues that the sports book companies like FanDuel's and DraftKings and Wynn and Caesars and MGM and BetMGM, BetFox, they need customers. We're a customer acquisition machine. And when I go on TV and I talk about sports gambling, thousands of people respond, and I send them all to you, the sports book, and you give me a fee for sending them to you. Well, that fee can add up to millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, eventually billions of dollars. They need us. And those are all billion-dollar companies. But without my customers and our database, they don't have any customers. They don't have any revenues. So we're a customer acquisition machine. So we have revenues from selling our picks. We have revenues from sending customers to sports books. We have revenues from advertising, mostly sports books, but anyone who wants to reach upscale men, any advertiser wants to reach, a macho male audience, because that's sports gambling. And we also eventually will have Vegas trips and travel, because the president of my company is Howard Lefkowitz, and he was the guy that built Vegas.com from the first few desks into a $400 million a year company. He's a brilliant visionary and strategist, and I literally brought him on board to carry out my dream, my vision.
Okay, so finally, you mentioned picks. Do you have any picks for this upcoming football season, and how do you think it's going to look as we kind of emerge from the pandemic?
Well, my pick is not going to be a game because the football season's a ways away. There's no way to predict that. My pick is actually going to be that football is going to become all about gambling. I've tried to tell this to people for 35 years that I've been in this business. It's no fun to sit and just watch a football game, yet millions of people do it every Sunday in the NFL, and every Monday night football, every Thursday night football, millions do it. But guess what? Most people didn't realize most of them had to bet on the game. They were betting illegally with a bookmaker. Now that it's legal, there will be 30 million, 40 million, 50 million Americans betting, Jane, every week on various games. It makes watching a game so much fun. Think about watching a 3-hour game and you have $1,000 on it. When it's over, you're either minus $1,000 or you got money to go to a fantastic restaurant for the next 10 nights in a row, or take your wife out to dinner and a movie and a show. It's the greatest form of entertainment in the world. The NFL's ratings will explode once people can all make a bet, whether it's $10, $100, or $10,000, and sit in front of the TV and watch the game. This will be the biggest NFL season ever. They just expanded it into partnership with sports gambling, and they expanded the weeks from 16 to 17 week schedule. So there's actually an extra week of games, and that's an extra week of revenue for Vegas winners. So I'm excited.
I can tell. Well, best of luck to you. I mean, it's certainly an exciting industry to be in, and it feels like you're right at the very beginning of this industry. It's going to have huge growth ahead. So thank you so much, Wayne, for joining us.
Thank you, Jane. VegasWinners.com is the website. Winners Inc., the parent company, ticker symbol WNRS. And yes, I'm excited.
PetProducts.com. Thousands of products. And Al Simon, Wee Wee Pad Inventor Company. Innerscope is dealing with the growing issue of hearing impairment and doing it with technology and at a lower cost. So with me is the CEO, Matthew Moore, to explain more about this. And Matthew, great to have you again. Great to see you again.
Thank you for having me again.
So let's start. So last time we talked, you pointed out there's a huge underserved market here, 40 million Americans that are living with some untreated or undetected hearing loss, which could have serious consequences for other diseases. That was fascinating to me, is that hearing loss can lead to other issues with the body. So can you explain a little bit more about how much is not being treated and what kind of other health issues it could lead to?
Absolutely. I mean, really, hearing loss is really connected to so many other parts of the body, as well as it can lead to dementia, Alzheimer's, risk of falling, hospitalization, depression, even suicide. I mean, literally, a person with untreated hearing loss compared to someone with hearing loss that is being treated actually lives 3 years less. So really, it is a huge issue that needs to be addressed. And there's really two major barriers why people don't buy hearing devices today. One of them is price, and the second is accessibility, which has been created by so many people to choose to live with risk of untreated hearing loss. And the first one, price. The current average typical set of hearing aids range from about $4,000 to upwards of $10,000 for a set of devices. And the high price is due to the lack of accessibility. The current lack of accessibility is because of the traditional delivery model. The traditional delivery model is in office. You know, you go to your local hearing center, Miracle, Beltone, you know, those are the big franchises. You know, you go there, that's where you get these high expensive hearing devices. And then also 98% of all hearing devices delivered and sold in this country are actually in the in delivery, you know, in the office delivery model right now. So that's the reason why is that Innerscope is all about breaking down those barriers due to advancements in hearing technology, new government regulations, which actually is deregulating hearing devices by adding a third category, which is over-the-counter hearing aids, which should be enacted here any day now, essentially. And then also the increased acceptance and popularity of telehealth. Our devices have telehealth remote fitting technologies built into it. So our licensed hearing specialists, audiologists, our specialists can actually remotely dial into the person's hearing device anywhere in the world and provide that professional adjustments, just like you would have at your local hearing center. So that's one of the reasons why that we're able to break down those barriers, addressing the price by bringing the price down to as little as $500 for a set of hearing devices versus something that is $4,000 to $10,000 for a set. And then also is that we're basically cutting out the middleman. That is basically what Innerscope's doing with our devices. We're empowering the consumers to take control of their hearing health. You know, hearing care is not location specific anymore. You know, we're launching free hearing screening kiosks. We have signed distribution agreements of our products with numerous retailers. We're actually also launching hearing screening kiosks where a person can take their hearing test within 2 to 3 minutes, find out if they have a hearing loss or not, and then they'll be able to actually purchase those devices from that retailer or from Innerscope's website. So we have just so many great things going on to address the price, accessibility, to really get hearing health as a really on the forefront of this global humanitarian issue of untreated hearing loss.
Well, and you talked about how the model is changing from, going to a facility versus direct to consumer. So how is Innerscope on the cutting edge of that? And that is one of the main things that drives the cost down, correct?
Absolutely. You know, the more accessibility and the more that we're able to spread and get more people to buy hearing devices, you know, right now, less than 2 million people are buying hearing aids each and every year, with over 40 million that actually suffer from hearing loss and that are not getting treated. So it's a huge amount of people that need to be treated still. So, you know, we actually have just connected with a huge marketing and brand awareness individual. His name is Chris Ivory. He's now our chief brand advisor. He's actually married to Ellen Pompeo, which is on the star of Grey's Anatomy on ABC. You know, so he's, you know, we're going to be working together. We're going to be bringing some globally recognized entertainment and sports celebrities to bring in hearing health advisors and bring in hearing health ambassadors to really, you know, grow the awareness of hearing loss why people need to be treated with it. And on top of that, we just signed which I talked about last time. We just signed a BJ's wholesale club. They're going to be launching our products to their 6 million members here any day now. And it is a fantastic time to really start to get your hearing addressed. And we're going to be really growing the message of why people need to get their hearing addressed. And we're going to be there to show the way of lower cost, as well as bringing additional accessibility to the market.
Well, and I remember you talked a lot about technology, Bluetooth, and there was like an app and things like that you were using as well. That just probably also brings down the price, but then helps people be able to operate it, makes it more accurate for people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Our latest hearing devices that we're launching are fully app controlled, self-adjusting through the smartphone. And that's been the biggest advancements in hearing technology in the past 5 or 6 years. That your cell phone now with Bluetooth, because our hearing devices are Bluetooth, that our devices can be self-controlled and self-controlled, self-adjusted hearing devices that you can fully have accessibility with your cell phone. So that way, on the fly, a person can adjust their hearing their hearing devices to make them sound better in different situations. That's the difference versus old technology, where you have to still go to the clinic to get them adjusted. So that is where we're giving the consumers, we're empowering the consumers to take control of their hearing and take control of their hearing aids.
Well, thank you so much, Matthew, for coming. And I hope we get an update once you get the BJ's distribution all done, and we can talk more about that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. PetProducts.com. Thousands of products. An Al Simon Wee Wee Pad Inventor Company. X Sigma Lab is a blockchain research and development lab that works to promote blockchain adoption in various industries. With me is the Chief Technology Officer, Alex Lebed of X Sigma. And you were with Facebook and Amazon, so you've had quite a bit of tech experience with a lot of big companies, right, Alex?
Hey, Jen. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's correct. So it was quite a journey. I work also for 1inch. It's a leading DEX aggregator in the space, and I'm full-time in the blockchain since 2017. Okay.
And then, so why this? You've been working on stable coins, right, for a while? And what brought...
Yes. Well, it's kind of personal story, to be honest. So I came from Russia, and unfortunately, during my short lifetime, I have twice experience in my life when local currency totally crashed in 1993 and 1997. And not only myself, but my parents got hurt a lot. So, and it's a very unfortunate situation where hardworking people, my mother worked as a teacher and father as a firefighter, they lost all possessions because someone from a governmental body did something wrong. And it's you work really hard for your life and you lose everything because someone who make a decision mismanaged it. And I thought, what can be done better? And when Bitcoin went out, so I didn't trust it before. But when it became clear what technology is viable, I started having interest in working in different projects, and finally joined full-time in 2017 when I joined underground hacker club called Decentral in Vancouver. It's a very nice place. And since then, this was my personal interest, crypto and stable coins especially, because it's what a real economy shows, what instead of gold, people use dollar right now. And in blockchain, inevitably we will come to a similar system in terms of usability.
Well, your story about your parents in Russia happened to people in the U.S. too. So it's, during the financial crisis and the housing.
Absolutely. Even now, even when everything's seemingly great, you will lose 10% of your money this year because of how much dollars were printed in 2020. 38% of all dollars were issued in 2020. So this will kick in eventually. So yes, it's a common around the world, but obviously it's more bigger problem in the developing countries like Ukraine, Argentina, Venezuela, etc.
Very interesting. So how does your work at X Sigma make a difference? You kind of touched on this, but how can everyday people use the technology to make their lives better?
Great question. And so where our parent company comes in play, so basically how it structurally looks, ZKIN International is a NASDAQ traded entity and it owns X Sigma Labs. And X Sigma Labs developing all these DeFi projects. So basically have this somewhat specific positioning of being affiliated with a NASDAQ traded entity and having completely decentralized DeFi project help us to kind of join kind of best practices from those two directions and help to make an easier transition or kind of like entrance from people from a classical finance, speculations, whatever, stock trading world into real world DeFi applications, not some private intranet, private blockchains, but real Ethereum based, completely not custodial solutions. And I think this is a very unique proposition of X Sigma here.
Mm-hmm. And then so we've got a lot of kind of economic things going on global. Well, there's NFTs. How would people be able to use those to their benefit, would you say?
Oh, yeah. This is like a current boom on NFT, things happening, and like X Sigma launching an NFT platform to trade with collectibles from a sports player, basketball in particular. A lot of like big stars from the sport join like this platform. But ultimately, only this is kind of first step, because digital art as an NFT, it might be here for stay or might be just a short-term trend. We don't know for sure. But technologically, NFT platform is great. You can tokenize everything from real estate to the business. So this is very, very huge market. And this NFT digital arts, like it's only like a first steps on a very big, yet undeveloped market.
Right, yeah.
So stable coins.
I don't think people realize, like they look at Beeple and things like that. I don't think they realize that same technology can be applied to real estate, any kind of creative thing. I mean, so I do think, NFTs are going to certainly develop. And then
it's going to be massive.
Yeah. What about digital dollars? Like, we've got China coming up with one.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
so
I say it ultimately, as a bigger trend, like we see what during COVID, like unfortunate event, but a lot of companies who didn't touch even internet before start moving towards digitalization, people working remotely. These companies start using internet. Inevitably, people and companies who use the internet will use internet money, which is like happens to be a cryptocurrency. But since the real world operates in a kind of dollar-based, fiat currency-based, like a unit of measurement, everyone will use sooner or later some sort of a stable coins. And we will see already trend where a centralized like a banking system of China and United States, as well as Europeans, all moving towards, let's have our own digital currency. Mm-hmm. And right now in $2.5 trillion market of a cryptocurrency, less than 3% of this money actually in stablecoin. This is nothing. We expect in the following year, like at least triple in terms of stablecoin value. And the following 2 years, it will be at least 10x. It's our projection. So we don't expect that market of stablecoins will totally like blow up, but not all stablecoins were born equal.
Okay. Well, it's going to be exciting to watch all this. So I think we're in for some big changes. Thank you so much, Alex, the Chief Technology Officer at X Sigma. PetProducts.com. Thousands of products. And Al Simon, Wee Pad Inventor Company. AZRX Biopharma is working on the next generation of targeted GI therapeutics. And with me is the CEO, James Saperstein, to explain more about what they're doing. And James, you've been CEO for 2 years, maybe not quite. Okay, all right. What a 2 years it's been, by the way. What a year it's been for your industry. My goodness. So I guess give me a little bit of history. Why did you join the company? What are your goals?
Great, thanks. And thanks for having me. I joined back in October 2019, and I've been in the industry for a very long time. But my first job actually was working for Eli Lilly, and that's going to explain a little bit as to why I joined. Back then, we were looking at selling human insulin and really competing against porcine-derived insulin that had been on the market for 85 years. And I looked at some of these patients who were getting resistance issues to the pork-derived insulin and why we need to convert them to human insulin that was made at that time from recombinant DNA technology, E. coli, and a lot of doctors were kind of freaked out. Well, why would we want to give them something made from E. coli? Well, similar to AZRX's lead product, MS-1819, the main competitor is AbbVie's product Creon, which is made from crushed up pig pancreases that put into powder form and put into capsules. And a lot of these patients over the years who have cystic fibrosis, once they take these capsules, they start getting these resistance issues. We have a yeast-derived, enzyme-derived, humanized product that we would use against the porcine-derived product. So very similar story to the human insulin. We would be replacing porcine-derived product and therefore less antigenicity for the patients, less capsules, a better source. We don't have to focus on sacrificing pig herds to get our product.
Now, is this then the first wave, the first product that you've introduced when you're there?
It will be, yeah. Okay. It's funny that you say first wave because we licensed some products from a company called First Wave. Nicotinamide, but yes, MS-1819 is the first product from AZRX.
Okay. All right. And then you stated in your letter to shareholders that the result of the MS-1819 monotherapy had mixed results. So can you go into a little more detail about that?
Yeah, and thanks for asking that because it's important that I say mixed results, meaning they weren't great and they weren't bad. They were mixed. And what happens is our formulation, we have these enteric capsules that we thought the drug or the powder would dissolve in the small intestine because we know it has to be absorbed there or at least has to activate there. What happened is the capsules didn't work, and it worked in some patients, it didn't work in others. In some patients, it just came right out of the GI tract. So the FDA wants us to get this coefficient factor of 80%. In some patients, we achieved that. In some patients, we didn't, but we have to average it out. So the average came out to about 60%. So one thing we know for sure is we have an active drug. It absolutely works. But we also know for sure we don't have the right formulation. So we're in the midst of fixing that right now. So we did have mixed results.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think a lot of us have a new appreciation for clinical trials and how complicated all of it can be. And not just the trials, but the logistics of getting vaccines or whatever it is where they need to go. Now, there was also, you licensed niclosamide, if I'm mispronouncing it, please help me. I have the worst time with drug names. And this is a COVID treatment, correct? So we think the pandemic's maybe on the wane at least. Will this still be relevant?
I love that question because when my investors ask me that all the time. So let me talk a little bit again about my background. I've been in infectious diseases for a very long time and helped launch some of the first products into HIV, and actually the most successful product into HIV at the time, which was tenofovir when I was at Gilead. And we launched that back in 2001, fully 14 years after AZT was launched, and when people thought they had the answer to HIV. One thing we knew about HIV hides. It hides in reservoirs, meaning it's over there, and that's why it's so hard to get a vaccine that works 100% against HIV. And we're never, I don't believe, going to vaccinate our way out of HIV. Why? Because it keeps mutating. And when we know about COVID-19 and why I licensed this product in is because the vaccines are great. Don't get me wrong. They're a great solution to bringing down the pandemic and making it into an epidemic. So we're going to always see pockets of COVID. This is an incredible virus. It's got well over 100 mutations already in the year or maybe 2 years that it's been out there. And it's been out for quite a while. the Indian variant that you're seeing right now, it's got a double variant. That's of concern. We're not sure that all the vaccines are going to work. And I promise you, because of my background in virology, there's going to be something worse than the Indian variant coming along. Not sure when, but it's going to happen. So I don't believe that we're going to be able to vaccinate ourselves totally out of this pandemic. We do need therapeutics. Niclosamide has been around for 50 years. It's an anti-parasitic drug. The Institute of Pasteur in Korea tested all the drugs that they could repurpose at the time. Niclosamide had 40 times the efficacy of remdesivir, which has been since approved by the FDA, the Gilead drug.
Interesting. Okay, so you have managed to raise quite a bit of money in your not even 2 years. To see how much have you raised, what have you used that for, and when do you think you might have to have another capital raise?
So yeah, when last I spoke to you, we had a lot of debt, and we had to restructure a lot of the company, a capital restructure. So today we raised a little over $34 million in that time frame in about 16 months. Where we use the money, we used to pay off the debt, so we have a clean balance sheet. We used to pay back some investors that lent us money as well. We are fixing our manufacturing. The company did not really spend any money on manufacturing. So MS-1819, as I said, the option 2 study, we showed our formulation doesn't work. So we've got to spend some money on that. We're in the midst of doing that. We'll have one more study, a smaller bridging study to show that we fixed that. We're using actually the same formulation, I should say, that AbbVie has. So these microbeads. And we used our money for acquisitions to bring in First Wave Bio and to hire people, because now we have 3 different programs going on. We didn't hire a lot more people. We hired 3 or 4 more people. I shut down our laboratories in France to save money. But we've got plenty of cash in the company. I don't expect that we have to raise money anytime soon. We have runway through next year, and we're doing fine.
Okay. Well, James, thank you so much for the update. Always very interesting, and best of luck.
Thank you so much.
PetProducts.com. Thousands of products. An Al Simon Wee Wee Pad Inventor Company. Paypolitan is an all-in-one payment solution. And with me is the CEO, Nils Thorant-Ortiz, to talk a little bit more about some of the updates. So, Nils, I was excited to see that you have an app now. So that's a major milestone, right? Tell me about the app.
Exactly. Hi, Jane. Thank you for having me again. The app was just launched a few days ago, and that's, for me as an entrepreneur, a major achievement after a journey that began 3 years ago in 2018. So finally, we have a product. The product we have been working on all those years, and now it's real. It was released in Google Play last week, and this week before yesterday on Apple App Store as well. And we have, I'm very proud of that. We have a very, very positive feedback from users. We have on Google Play rating on a 4.9 out of 5. So it's a 5 stars rating. So that's very good. I'm very happy to read that.
Yeah. Is it available globally or just in certain countries at this point?
It is available globally.
Okay, great. So also, we talked a little bit last time about staking and the concept of staking with cryptocurrencies. Can you kind of reiterate a little bit about that and how Paypolitan allows staking?
Sure. Staking is providing liquidity by locking up a coin for a certain period. So in our case, our token is called EPAN. So you can stake, for instance, our EPAN token. That means you're going to lock it for a period of time X. So we have 2 models. We have either 6 months, that is a fixed duration with a annual interest rate of 16.8%, or the users themselves set up the period, let's say 1 month and 3 days. Of course, then the interest rate per annum is a bit lower, or the interest rate you will make at the end of staking. But staking is, let's say it's a kind of peer-to-peer landing.
Mm-hmm. Did you say 60%?
16.8%.
Which is still incredible. 16%.
I mean, I don't know what about the US, but right now Europe, if you have savings in your bank account, you even have a negative interest rate. So they grab 0.5, 0.75% of what you have already in your bank account.
Wow. I don't think it's a negative here, but I think it is less than 1%. So yes, it's just kind of a holding tank for money. It's not really anything to let grow. So how much is staked so far with EPAN?
Guess what? I looked at the numbers today and I didn't believe it. There is already over 1 million staked.
Wow. Okay. So great. And then also, I mean, which coins can be staked and how does somebody even start that process?
Well, for the time being, the direct staking, it's with our own token, the EPAN token. So you download the app, you register, that is done in 2 minutes. And then you connect your existing wallets. And if you have EPAN, you have then the button stake EPAN. Then you have the possibility of setting your own duration or taking the ready-made staking. And that's it. So it's basically locked where it is. You don't have to send it to a specific wallet. It stays where it is. And simply there's a smart contract running then on that token for the duration of the staking.
Okay.
And the staking is calculated with a compound rate. So compound is, let's say, a bit the market leader of staking. And they have a rate that is recalculated frequently. And we simply connect it to the compound rate in order to update or also to correct the staking rate.
Okay, so you have an app now, major milestone. What is next for Paypolitan?
So what is next? We're working on exchange listings. So we listed on Bitforex in March this year, and we have a tier 1 coming up. We try to list our coin on Kraken, which is a very huge listing. And I think also the crypto exchanges are getting to a different level right now. We saw those days the IPO of Coinbase on NASDAQ, which was a major milestone for the crypto and DeFi community. And I think that's a good step in the right direction. And I hope that others will follow and also list their companies on NASDAQ.
Yeah, no, I think Coinbase was kind of when we look back on this, one of those events that legitimize the industry. And speaking of that, we saw Bitcoin run up in anticipation of the Coinbase IPO, and then it kind of collapsed, and now it's like in between. And what's your take on the current state of the crypto market right now?
Well, there have been, like always, have been some corrections and also some setbacks. But we also saw Ether reaching its all-time high last week, $2,640 on Thursday, right? That was amazing. I mean, who had thought that? I remember beginning of last year, Ether I bought for $95. So that's a huge jump. And by the way, our token EPAN also reached its all-time high of $1.08 2 weeks ago. So even so we are a smaller player, we are very happy and very proud that also the community investors are discovering our token EPAN and more people investing. So I think that's the second achievement after the app launch.
Now, do you think that crypto has seen its highs for the year, or do you think there'll be more upside later on?
I think as long as the pandemic is still ongoing, people will continue to invest into alternative investments. And so more or less you make money with traditional means of investment, let's say savings. We just discussed it before. How can you still make money with your saving accounts? Mission impossible. So all those people, especially younger generations, they will directly go to DeFi. I mean, that is unparalleled, and there's a risk, obviously. It's not like having your savings in the bank that might still be there tomorrow. But even said that, that is not true anymore. We saw Greensill and billions simply vanished in the nature. But I think on the long run, the DeFi and crypto market for this year, at least, as long as the pandemic is still on, and the traditional finance industry is not coming up with a real alternative that is attractive to daily users, then DeFi is the alternative. I don't see any other option for that.
Okay, very interesting. Well, I look forward, congratulations on the app, and I look forward to another update.
Thank you very much.
Always nice to talk to you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks. PetProducts.com. Thousands of products. An Al Simon Wee Wee Pad Inventor Company. PetProducts.com is bringing all of your pet needs online. And with me is Executive Vice President Kevin Yamano to talk about spring. So happy. I can just tell everybody is loving spring, and there's so many dogs walking around New York right now.
Right.
But you're saying that people should know, pet owners should know some things in particular about the spring season.
Sure. I mean, everybody's excited, right, to get back outside, to see the sunshine again, get their pets outside, whether it be dogs or I've seen cats on leashes. I've seen people walking around with birds on their shoulders. Everybody's just excited to be outside. But we do want to make sure that you're taking care of your pet as the weather warms up. Want to make sure that you have proper hydration for your pet, proper nutrition for your pet, and take care of your pet, right? It's flea and tick season again. We kind of forget about that with the pandemic and everything else, but we just want to make sure you're taking care of your pet. Pet Products has a great line and assortment of all the things you need for spring for your pets, from like flea and tick stuff like I talked about before, to treats, to drinks, to everything else that you need.
Mm-hmm. And then you mentioned too that you especially like to talk to your customers. And that's something that really is missing in the online experience. I mean, you have the convenience of ordering, but if you have questions or an issue or something, it's very hard to get a hold of a person, but you have done something about that.
Yes, absolutely. As you mentioned, as people shift from kind of brick and mortar shopping to online shopping, that's one of the things that we lose is that personal experience and the ability to ask questions and to understand what it is you're buying or what's going on with your pet and try to find a solution for it. And Pet Products really tries to engage with their customers and people who have questions about anything and everything out there, whether it be our products or how to take care of your pets. We have so many different ways to engage. We just encourage people to ask the question. We love to help people. We have chat on the page. If you're on the page looking for a product, just chat with us. Click the button and chat with us. We're happy to answer your questions. You can call us. You can email us. There's even places where you can ask the community questions, right? How do you guys take care of your pets? How does this relate to what you're doing? So many ways to engage. We don't want you to feel alienated or isolated or have questions that aren't answered. Please reach out to us. We'd love to connect up with you.
Now, and for some people who maybe have bought their, pet items on Amazon or something like that, you have a coupon for people to attract them to take a look at your website. So tell me about that.
Sure, absolutely. And we do try very hard to have very competitive pricing. And that's one thing we encourage people to do, right? Come on down, kick our tires, right? Check out our pricing and our selection and see if it matches up with what your expectations are. But to sweeten the deal a little bit more, we have a special coupon, a 10% off coupon for people, for your viewers who want to come down and see what we have. It's a 10% off. Use Spring TV On checkout, there's a little coupon box. Type in the word Spring TV, and you'll get 10% off your orders.
Okay, so petproducts.com, Spring TV.
Yes.
Thank you, little bit. Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Kevin. Great to see you again.
Jane. Thanks.
Closed captioning brought to you by Pray.com, the #1 app for daily prayer and bedtime Bible stories.
Bring light to your day. Strengthen your spirit. Download Pray.com right now, the #1 app for daily prayer.
Fact. Most people pay way too much to file their taxes. Oh, tickles. Also fact. Tax Act costs up to 20% less than TurboTax. Pretty cool, huh? So make the switch. File for less and get more with Tax Act.
I don't want to look like this anymore.
What is happening to my body?
Why can't I lose weight?
You may be suffering from insulin resistance. Measure your waist. Females measuring more than 35 inches and males measuring more than 40 inches may have insulin resistance. To learn how to reverse insulin resistance and lose weight effectively, go online to golo.com. Once again, that's golo.com.
This is Theragun by Therabody, the percussive therapy device that has been the secret of professional trainers, weekend warriors, and all-star athletes looking to get to their next level. Visit Theragun.com. Change the way you move.
Good morning, I'm Adam Brandon, and welcome to Save the Nation. America hit an incredible milestone this past week, and one we've never before experienced as a nation. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that there were more than 8.1 million jobs available in the United States.